You won't believe what happened on Reddit today. My dad passed away 6 months ago and left me 29-year-old man and my sister, 32-year-old woman, a modest inheritance of $100,000 to be split 50-50. My sister, who has 2 kids and a mortgage, wanted to put her $50,000 straight into a boring S&P 500 ETF. I told her that was boomer tier thinking and I could get her way better returns. I pitched her a deal. Let me manage her $50,000 along with mine. I'd guarantee her a 10% return for the year, and I'd keep any extra profit. She reluctantly agreed over text, writing, "Fine, just don't lose it all, you idiot." Challenge accepted. I took the full $100,000 and dumped it into a brand new meme coin called Quantum Doge. For 3 months, it was a rocket ship. I was a god. I watched that $100,000 swell to $500,000, then $1-year-old man, and finally peak at just over $2.2 million. I felt like the Wolf of Wall Street. I called my sister, ecstatic, and told her the news. I was ready to wire her the $55,000 we agreed on, $50,000 principal plus 10% profit. She went silent. Then she exploded. "You made $2 million with my money and you're offering me $5,000 in profit? Absolutely not. I want my half. That's $1.1 million. We argued for a week straight. I told her a deal was a deal. She called me a greedy, sociopathic gambler who got lucky. I told her she didn't have the diamond hands for the risk, so she didn't deserve the tendies. I held my ground, convinced she would eventually accept the original deal. Then the correction happened. In 48 hours, a whale dumped their entire wallet and Quantum Doge went into a death spiral. I kept thinking it would bounce, but it just kept cratering. The whole $2.02-year-old man vanished. My final balance was about $250. When I told my sister, she didn't believe me. She screamed that I was hiding the money and that she was getting a lawyer. Yesterday, I was served with a lawsuit. She's not just suing me for her initial $50,000. She's suing me for $1.1 million, her half of the portfolio at its absolute peak, claiming I breached a fiduciary duty by not cashing out. I have no money, my family is destroyed, and I'm facing a legal battle I can't afford. I took the risk and lost it all, but was I wrong to not just give her the money when I had it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. You won't believe what happened on Reddit today. My 31-year-old woman, husband's 34-year-old man ex-fiancé, showed up to our wedding and handed me an envelope that blew up my entire marriage. We were an hour into the reception. Mark and I were on cloud 9 after 3 years together. He'd always told me his ex, Chloe, was a little unhinged, and that's why they broke up. So when I saw her standing by the gift table, looking perfectly calm and elegant, my stomach dropped. She didn't make a scene. She just walked over, gave me a sad smile, and said, "Congratulations, I think you deserve to see this." She pressed a plain white envelope into my hand and walked out before Mark even saw her. He noticed my face, saw the envelope, and his whole demeanor changed. "Don't open that," he hissed, trying to snatch it. "She's just trying to ruin our day. Please just throw it away." His panic made my decision for me. I went to the bridal suite, my heart pounding against the bodice of my dress, and tore it open. It wasn't a letter. It was a bank statement, an account in Mark's name, opened 5 years ago, with Chloe listed as a joint owner. The current balance was $82,451.38. I scanned the transactions. For the last 3 years, our entire relationship, he had been automatically depositing $1,500 every single month. Last month's deposit was there. This was the same man who told me we had to skip our dream honeymoon in Italy because we needed to be financially responsible. All that money, sitting there, a secret he shared with his ex. I walked back out and showed him the paper. He went pale. He stammered about how it was their old future house fund, and he just forgot about the automatic transfers and didn't want the drama of closing it with her. But $82,000 isn't something you just forget. It feels like a safety net he never cut, a future he was still funding without me. I'm now sitting in our hotel room, still in my wedding dress, and he's texting me to come back down. TLDR. My husband's ex gave me a bank statement at our wedding, revealing a secret $82,000 account he'd been funding with her throughout our entire relationship, and now my wedding night is a war zone. Am I wrong for letting this ruin everything? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. You won't believe what happened on Reddit today. Last night, during a toast at her own book launch party, a 31-year-old woman told our entire family that my sister Chloe, 28-year-old woman, is a fraud who built her entire successful writing career on a story she stole from me. 10 years ago, when I was 21, I poured my soul into a novel. I was naive and left the manuscript on our shared family computer. 6 months later, I was blindsided when Chloe, the golden child, announced she'd gotten a book deal. It was my book. My characters, my plot, my ending. When I confronted her, she laughed and said I couldn't prove it. My parents told me I was being jealous and cruel, and that I needed to be supportive of my sister's incredible talent. I was devastated. I dropped out of my creative writing program and moved across the country. I spent years working dead-end jobs, but I never stopped writing. I just did it in secret. For the last 5 years, I've been a ghostwriter for A-list celebrities. My family thinks I have a boring corporate marketing job, but I've secretly written 3 New York Times bestsellers and made millions. I never said a word. I just watched Chloe soak up the praise for her debut novel and get a massive advance for her second. Last night was the launch party for that second book. It was at a fancy downtown restaurant, and my parents were gushing. During their speech, my mom called Chloe our family's creative genius. Later, Chloe found me by the bar and smirked. "See, I told you I had the gift," she said. "Good thing you gave up on that silly writing hobby." That was it. When the clinking for toast started again, I stood up. I raised my champagne glass and started sweet. To Chloe, who taught me a very valuable lesson about the literary world. Everyone smiled. I continued, "She taught me that a good story is worth a lot. So I took that lesson and put it to use." I pulled out my phone and showed the crowd a screenshot of a recent royalty payment for $1.2 million. I'm the ghostwriter for David Axton's memoir. The truth is, the book you stole from me, Chloe, was just a rough draft. I've gotten a lot better since then. The room went dead silent. Chloe's face was chalk white, and then she just started sobbing. I put my glass down, said, "Congratulations again," and walked out. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing. My parents say I'm a monster for humiliating her. My cousins are saying she deserved it. I waited a decade for this moment, but now I just feel empty. Was I wrong to finally tell the truth like that? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. You won't believe what happened on Reddit today. My best friend of 10 years literally abandoned me at a remote temple in Bali because I wouldn't pay a $500 blessing fee. My friend, Chloe, 28-year-old woman, and I, 28-year-old woman, had been saving for this trip for 2 years. We had a joint travel fund of about $3,000 for activities. On our second day, Chloe met a tour guide, Wei-in, at a market. He was charismatic, charming, and promised us an authentic, non-tourist experience. I was skeptical, but Chloe was completely smitten. For the next few days, Wei-in was attached at our hip. Every authentic experience felt like a curated tourist trap with a higher price tag. A private waterfall was just the main public one before it officially opened, costing us $50 each. A traditional family dinner was a restaurant with 3 other groups of tourists. Each time, Chloe would pay from our joint fund, saying, "You can't put a price on memories." The breaking point came yesterday. Wei-in drove us an hour into the jungle to a secret temple. He explained that for a donation, a high priest could give us a life-changing blessing for prosperity. It all felt very spiritual until Wei-in pulled us aside and whispered that the required donation was $500 USD. Each, in cash. I just stared at him. "Absolutely not," I said. "That's a scam." Chloe's face fell. "It's not a scam, it's their culture, you're being so disrespectful." She was looking at Wei-in, not me. I tried to reason with her. "Chloe, we're being taken for a ride. This is half of our remaining budget." Wei-in put his arm around her and said, "It is a shame your friend's energy is so negative. It will block the blessing." Chloe turned on me, her eyes welling up. "You've been trying to ruin this whole trip for me. Fine, I'll pay for mine." She pulled $500 from her wallet and handed it to Wei-in. After a 30-second mumble from the priest, it was over. The ride back was silent until we got to the van. Wei-in said he couldn't take my negative aura back with him. Before I could even process it, Chloe said, "I agree. You can find your own way back." They got in the van and drove off, leaving me in the middle of nowhere. It took me 2 hours and $80. I barely had to get a ride back to our hotel on the back of a farmer's scooter. When I got to our room, Her bags were gone. She'd also cleared out the rest of the joint cash from our room safe. I have my passport and about $200 to my name. My flight is in 4 days. I'm completely alone and heartbroken. Was I wrong to call out the scam and refuse to pay? Should I have just paid the money to keep the peace and not lose my best friend? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.